And we're back in the studio. So, welcome to another episode of Tool Tuesdays. We're continuing to go over the tools that I currently own, which we will eventually make our way into comparisons of different brands and different styles. So, anyway, we're going to be talking about mainly pliers and cutters and snippers, anything that has this kind of action. So, here we go. As you can see here, I have quite a bit of different stuff laid out, and this is all essential tools that I use on an everyday basis in the HVAC world. And this is the kind of stuff that you're going to need too. If you're kind of curious to see what tools you need to get started, I do have an old video where I just laid out all my tools. It looks like a lot and it can be overwhelming, especially if you're a brand new technician, because it is pricey, but there are a lot of affordable options out there. It doesn't necessarily need to be the exact same brand. You can always start with a more affordable option and then kind of work your way up from there. All right, so this one right here, this is the Klein Curve wire stripper. This one's made in the United States. It's the one with the gray handle on it. This one actually works out great for HVAC just because it goes so small. We work with a lot of low voltage thermostat wire. It also has a built-in, crimper right here. You can do those B-type connectors, you can do insulated connectors, and you can do uninsulated connectors. So yeah, if anything, I'm probably going to do a video on how to properly use all the features of these particular different strippers, and I'll have a different type as well. But I've used this style for years, and I've never really had an issue with it. What I like about this is there's no spring. Personally, I don't like. I bought one pair that had spring on it. I don't like the spring. I don't know if that's a personal preference thing. That's just me. You might like it, but personally, I just don't like it. I have no problem just doing it like this. But yeah, I really like this one because it does have the crimper. So I do like to use a dedicated crimper, but when I'm in a pinch and I'm too lazy to go back to the truck, or I don't have it with me or something, I'll just use the one on here. So and it works perfectly fine. The only downside about using this for a crimper is it's not as long, so you just don't have as much leverage. So I find myself sometimes using two hands to really just make sure it's crimped on there. Complaint about this style over time, because you're constantly pushing on the top part here, and underneath this it's just, you know, a piece of metal. It does sometimes rip open, and when that happens, it gets so uncomfortable and you just can't use it anymore. At that point you have to replace it. However, these are pretty affordable. They're not like ridiculously expensive, so that's a nice thing. So when you do need to replace it, you can without breaking the bank so much. This is your bread and butter tool, so you know, you want to make sure it stays in good condition. Every once in a while, just shoot it with a little bit of WD-40. I live in an area where it snows, and sometimes I have my bag open, I'm outside, it snows inside my bag, everything gets all rusty, but you just kind of shoot this stuff with some WD-40 every once in a while, and it keeps it clean. So the next tool I was talking about here is my Klein crimpers. These guys right here, I use these quite a bit. They're nice because they open up really high, so you can like really use them to cut some wire, but they also crimp. They do insulated and non-insulated as well. And I believe these do the B-type, which is, actually no, these don't. Anyway, so yeah, these do insulated and non-insulated. And the reason why I like using these dedicated ones is the fact that it's so much longer compared to this guy here. Because if you think about it, the crimping surface on the strippers is actually right here. And the crimping surface over here is here, so it's much farther. So if we line these up like that, you can see how much more leverage I get with this compared to the strippers. So, but yeah, these are pretty much my bread and butter. I use these two all the time because I do like replacing those spade connectors quite a bit, because a lot of the times they get loose. Yeah, you can pinch them down, and you know, again with these wire strippers, you have this thing here, you can use it to twist and untwist and pinch and do all kinds of stuff or grab things. But yeah, it's just sometimes you want to just make sure that you have a good crimp, and you can do it one-handed, because this guy right here it's just, you just have so much more leverage. So that's why I like to use this dedicated crimper. So the other one that I use quite a bit is my needle nose pliers. I usually use these to grab things and to, you know, I don't really use it to cut too much. Ooh, this one I need to run some WD-40 on it. It's starting to get a little, you know, stuck from being out in the rain. But anyway, these guys can cut. These are the smaller ones, and again, these are Kleins, and they're the dipped. Personally, I really don't. I like getting the thick insulated ones. These are also dipped, but they didn't have the I think they're called the Journeyman series yet. So eventually, I would like to replace them. I don't like the dip handles. Yeah, I just don't. That's personal preference. I just like it to be comfortable. But I mean, for what they are, these work perfectly fine. They grab. One of the things I like to use them for is to pull off spades off of capacitors. So I'll grab that, and then you can actually leverage it to pop it off when they're on there tight. So another thing that I use all the time is my diagonal cutters. Again, these are Klein, made in the US, I believe. I would hope so, considering they have a little US flag on them. Yeah, so these are made in the USA. I like made in the USA stuff, but mainly I just like high quality equipment. I don't like it to fail, but I use this thing to cut stuff all the time. Probably stuff that I shouldn't be cutting, but I do use it to cut cable. I use it to cut wire. I use it to cut the little rings off of flex duct, and sometimes I use it to cut screws. Am I supposed to do that? No. And then of course I use it to cut zip ties. And then I have a set of Lineman pliers. I don't actually use these a lot, but when I do use them, they're great. They have a big old cutter right here, and they have a lot of leverage. So I can use these as diagonal cutters in some cases. But mainly I use these to grab strip screws, or if I break a head off, you can actually grab the head and unscrew it, or I can just grab something and rip it out. That's what they're good for, honestly. As far as what we use in HVAC, I'm sure there's many other uses for these, but I'm not an electrician, so I don't deal with having to twist wires and all that stuff too much. Usually I have to untwist wires, but then when I put it back on, I let the wire nut twist it back for me. But this one is also a Klein made in the USA. It's super hefty. Again, it's got the dipped handles. I would like to get one that has the softer, more ergonomic handles, but like I said, I hardly use this, but it works great for me. So another tool I've been using lately is, this one's actually pretty new to me. This is a little Klein nippers. These are kind of cool because they're like 10 bucks, but they're basically small little cutters. You can use these to cut zip ties, but what I've been using them and why I bought them is when I'm installing a mini split, particularly a Daikin, they don't come with pan heaters. It's an additional optional thing that you have to order and install. And in our region, you have to have a pan here because in the heat mode, it will actually form ice at the bottom of the pan and it'll puncture the outdoor coil. So we install them every time, but I've noticed on the newer ones, you actually have to cut a little jumper on the circuit board. And I've done it with this, but it is a pain in the butt because it's so little, and I swear I'm going to break one of the boards eventually. So I picked one of these up, and these make it a lot easier just because they're pointier and they're smaller, so you can just get in there and snip it. But then I find myself using this to cut the zip ties all the time just because it's smaller, it's lighter, it's easy to hold. But nothing special to that. One other thing that I carry that has to do with the electrical stuff is a set of fuse pullers. Now this is made by Bus Fuse. I couldn't find one from Klein, so I ordered this one online. I like using this because before I used to use my needle nose to pull those out, and if you touch the side of it, you're going to get zapped because obviously these are not the 1000 volt insulated. So yeah, I've zapped myself too many times to continue to do it that way. So I have this fuse puller, so you can just grab the fuse, pull it out. The whole thing's plastic, so there's nothing conductive on here, so you don't have to worry about it. You can also put the new fuse on there and pop it back in. This is one of those nice to haves, but ever since I've got it, I've actually used it a lot. And in some cases, I use it when I'm not supposed to. I'll use it to like grab things like that that are live. I do need to get some insulated tools because I have been finding myself having to work on live systems more and more, and I'm getting tired of getting shocked. So another thing that I carry, and I would say is a definite must-have in your bag, is a set of some heavy-duty scissors. I use these things for all kinds of stuff. I cut wire with them. I cut everything. I cut filters, insulation, all kinds of different stuff. I've had these quite for some time. These are the Weiss, and they're the titanium coated scissors, and they have worked for me. I've actually had these for quite some time, several years actually. So this was before they got bought out by whoever. I forget who Weiss's got bought out by. Is it Stanley? I don't know. But anyway, this was before their whole buyout, and I've had this thing for a long time. It's starting to kind of wear out because I cut a lot of stuff that I shouldn't be cutting with these, but these things are great. They stay in my bag all the time, and I use them for all kinds of stuff. So the other thing that I would say is very important and essential for that you have is a set of tin snips. Now these are actually the Milwaukee Straight tin snips. I have had these for a very, very, very long time. I've used them to cut sheet metal for a very long time. In fact, I think I've had this is one of the first tools that I've purchased. No, actually, this is the second company I ever worked for I purchased these. And I still have them, and it's been over 10 years for sure. And they still cut fine. And they're in pretty good shape, honestly. You can see here it is the Milwaukee. Whether they're still good, I don't know, but they are comfortable in the hand, and they do the job, and they've lasted quite some time. I haven't had any issues with them. They did rust a little bit, but again, that's kind of normal. You just got to take care of your tools, and every now and then I'll shoot a little bit of WD-40 and clean them. But yeah, these things have been great. I did not use these in an install capacity. I use these as a technician's capacity, so I've used these to do repairs and stuff like that, but not any installations as far as duct work goes. I did have a set of Weiss cutters, the left, the right, and the straight. When I first started, I was an installer. That's what I used. I don't have those anymore. I wore those things out so quick. But I was using them every day. But this one, I don't use them every day, but I do use them quite a bit. I would say they probably get used at least once a week, minimum. And, I'm really bad. I cut stuff that I shouldn't be cutting with these, but they've been great, and I have nothing bad to say about them, honestly. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is a tongue and groove plier. Now this one is the Knipex. This is the 12-inch Cobra water pump plier. This thing is awesome. Like, I just cannot believe how good it grips onto pipe. I'm going to show you me using this. Another thing that I've been using lately is this guy here. This is made by Crescent. This is one of those adjustable like auto things. Let me show you again here. What I love about this thing is I don't have to adjust it. It's super light. I can actually carry it in my bag, and check this out. Look at that. See how easy that hooks on? That's awesome. And I don't have to adjust it, and I can just, wrench on stuff. Freaking awesome. Same thing with this guy right here, the water pump pliers by Knipex. It's got that button so you can really just like fine tune the size. I've been using tongue and groove pliers for years, the old school like channel lock flat jaw, and this one is just awesome. I mean, I love this thing. I replaced it because it was just so old. It was time. There we go. Yeah, look at that. So, and then this is one of those tools that you can use for all sorts of things. You can use it as a hammer. You can use it as, to grab nuts and bolts. You can use it to grab things. You can use it to hold pipes while you're brazing so you don't burn your hands. I mean, this is one of those things. And the best part about it is I got it with the comfy grip. I love these like extra thick grips. They're just more comfortable to hold. My old one, it was just dipped. I really don't like dipped. In fact, I'm planning on any replacements going forward will be dipped, or will not be dipped handles if I can get them. But yeah, I've never used Knipex before. It's made in Germany, but the quality is awesome. The price is a little steep, but I mean, you're getting a high quality precision tool. So, you know, I like that. That's why I usually get American made, because usually you get that from American made stuff. But as far as I can see, is there isn't really anything that compares to this in the American made market. As I said, in the future, I do plan on getting multiple brands of the same things. So I will be getting the Klein versions of this and whatever else I can find. I will also get the channel lock version, because I believe they do make this style now. But yeah, I've been using the old tools because that's what I've been used to. As a child, my father was a contractor and he used to take me on jobs. So I would use his tools, and that's what I had become accustomed to. That's why for so many years I've just been using adjustable wrenches until I found the Pliers wrench. I know it's not anything new, but for me it's brand new, and oh my god, am I loving it. I'm totally gonna buy more of them. But anyway, I'm gonna stop gushing about Knipex, but same thing is eventually what I plan on doing is getting a lot of these tools in multiple different brands and trying them all out and see what the differences are between them, because there are other brands that make this exact same kind of plier for half the price. So price is usually a big thing, but if I can get something just as good for a much cheaper price, that's just as good, a very important part, that's just as good, that's what I'm gonna do so. And it's funny too, because as I'm looking at this, I'm noticing more and more about these things. For instance, I don't know if you notice this track here, it curves, but that's to keep the it's to keep the jaws aligned no matter what position you have them in. Look at that. So that takes some thought. And I feel like not all the competitors think about stuff like that. I've also noticed too here that there's a little grip right here at the edge. So it looks like I could totally fit some like nuts or bolts in there. But yeah. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments about these Knipex water pump pliers is what they call them, or tongue and groove pliers, but I guess this isn't technically a tongue and groove because it's like way different. But yeah, and then these also are less bulkier and they feel like they're lighter, but these are the 12-inch ones. I like to have the extra leverage. I use these I use these mostly when I'm working on gas pipe and things to that nature, or if I need some grabbers. But these things are amazing. I can't say enough about these. But like I said, these are the new style. I've been using the old style straight jaws for a long time, and this is awesome. I love these. So anyway, I hope that you guys have been enjoying this new series of Tool Tuesdays. I enjoy making these because I get to share all my tools. I get to really break them down and really think about how we could potentially use them in the HVAC world, because no tool is the same. And you may have a tool that's designed specifically to do a specific job, but you can find some other hacks on using them to make your job easier, because having the right tool for the job is very helpful, but having a versatile tool that can help you with multiple jobs is even better. However, sometimes it takes some effort to figure out what you can and can't do with them. So that's what I'm here for. But anyway, I'm going to continue with this series, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. And please keep liking and subscribing. If you want to pick up any of these tools, I do have a tool store on Amazon. I do get a commission anytime you purchase a tool from there. And those funds are going to come back to the channel so I can purchase more tools and I can test different brands so we can find what works out perfectly for the right amount of money. So anyway, hopefully this helps you out when you're trying to decide which tools you want to get or what style of tool you want to get. If you have any particular tools you'd like me to review, put them in the comments below. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, tell me what a horrible technician I am. Hit that bell notification, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And if you like any of these tools, visit my tool store on Amazon and pick them up for yourself. And if you like work socks that prevent sweaty feet, go to Camel City Mill, Nighthawk 10, get you 10% off. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.